everyone, I'm RVRocks, and growing up, I was a musical kid. I've gone over this before, but over the years, I've played a variety of different instruments and performed in a variety of choirs. And with this somewhat indoctrinated hobby came my love and appreciation for music as a whole. Even to this day, one of my favorite things to do is to go back and analyze the scores of some of my favorite shows and games. But all of this would come to a head when I found a mix of two of my favorite passions, the swirling of music in video games known as rhythm games. Games based around rhythm have become some of my favorite in recent years. Being a huge music nerd kinda does that to you. And even though my skills with a lot of these games can be hit or miss, I find myself consistently enjoying games that feature rhythm as a major game mechanic. Stuff like Parappa the Rapper, Rhythm Heaven Fever, Mother 3's Battle System, and of course the internet's most recent favorite game, Friday Night Funkin'. I first discovered this game when on TikTok, my most recent social media venture. Scrolling through and finding this DDR-esque game and immediately dismissing it. But the internet, and more specifically TikTok, works in mysterious ways, and soon after I was immediately hit with more and more and more. Friday Night Funkin' would not leave my recommended pages anywhere. Suddenly, people I followed on Twitter were tweeting about it. So taking it as a sign from either the gods or the people who spy on my phone activity, I decided it was time that I give the game a shot. And after struggling with Dad Battle for a decent amount of time, I discovered something within me. As someone on the internet, this is a dangerous game, but I discovered that I love the thing that is popular right now. Within days, I had played all the different weeks. I was researching mods, reading wiki pages, listening to Phantom Arcade Twitch archives in which he delved into the small amount of lore for the game. I was one of those. And honestly, I have no shame in it. As it stands right now, Friday Night Funkin' is a great, albeit small experience, and perfectly nails down the three different things that I think every rhythm game should strive for. For one, it has great music. This is, of course, subjective, but what is a rhythm game without great music? Games like Osu, Beat Saber, and Custom Hero allow for mapping of just about anything to be on the table, and to an extent you can do a very similar thing in Friday Night Funkin', but you can never quite beat games that have completely original tracks to go with each level. It gives the individual game some more personality and flavor to make it stand out from the crowd. For the uninitiated, Friday Night Funkin' is a Dance Dance Revolution style game with the objective of each level or week being to beat your opponent in a rap battle over the course of 3 individual songs. The premise of it being a rap battle initially put me off, but these overly synthesized vocals won me over quickly. Friday Night Funkin's Vocaloid sounding melodies with the added flavors of rap and techno music all set to this late 90s, early 2000s aesthetic is just a perfect mix of genres for someone like me. Not to mention that the music in this game strikes that perfect balance between good gameplay for a rhythm game and actual good song. It's a hard balance to find. I love Rhythm Heaven Fever like no one else, but some of these songs just don't hold without the game part of them. For every hole-in-one, there's a donk-donk. But Friday Night Funkin' doesn't have any tracks that I find overtly bad. Some are weaker than others. For instance, I don't necessarily love Daddy Dearest first song, and I find most of Pico's songs to be pretty forgettable as well, an opinion that will surely make my ass be grass to the lawnmowers of the comment section. But then you get songs like MILF and Senpai, and my all-time favorite track in the game, Winter Horrorland. And you realize how special this game can be when the stars align for it. And those stars align more frequently than they don't. To go back to all those games I mentioned a second ago, these are all great, but they all require a very specific type of player and mindset to get into it. Showing someone this gameplay doesn't exactly bode confidence from even the most hardcore of gamers. It's a hard sell. Meanwhile, look at Friday Night Funkin'. I mean, really look at it. It's got style, it's got flavors, it's got that early Newgrounds feel. This brings me to the second thing that any good rhythm game should strive for. As dumb as it may sound, appealing visuals. Parappa the Rapper. It has a whole world with a somewhat papercraft aesthetic, flat characters, and a colorful 3D world. It's ridiculous, but it has charm. Now contrast that to Osu. Good God, what is happening here? This argument isn't meant to discredit Osu or any other game similar to it, but let's look at it this way. Osu, that's like a tier 4 game. No one starts on Osu. But these games, they're tier 1. Simple, inviting, and a great part of that inviting nature is how it looks. Friday Night Funkin' also falls into this category. These character designs are all off the charts. Original characters all look distinct and have their own unique flavor to them, and the guest characters have all been remastered wonderfully to both pay homage to their original series while also maintaining the cartoony charm of the Friday Night Funkin' world, perfectly imitating the era that I grew up in, where the coolest things in the world were skateboarding and listening to rap music. These designs are good, so good that people literally have made up whole ass personas for characters who never got any proper dialogue. And you probably know by now how much I love that kind of fandom bullshit. A game with a passionate fandom will always have its bad eggs, but most of the time, those good eggs are ridiculously awesome. And that shows here too. Look at the modding community for this game. The range in mods is ridiculous. There's of course the obligatory edgy self-insert OCs and the obligatory let's make this about JoJo mods, but look a little deeper and you'll begin to find this wealth of creativity. Characters and music that don't look or sound a hair out of place within the base game. Actually creative crossovers that cleverly blend the music of both worlds. People adding whole ass new game mechanics. This shit consistently blows me away, and the best part is, it's so simple. Anyone can come see gameplay, know exactly what's happening, and be encouraged to try it themselves. Bringing me to the final thing that I think all rhythm games should strive for. Engagement through simplicity. Rhythm games are historically simple, or at least simple in concept. It's listening to a song and hitting buttons or multiple buttons to line up with that song. But then there's stuff like Through the Fire and the Flames. Jesus Christ. Most average gamers are gonna want something somewhere between these two ideologies, and in that middle ground lies who else but Friday Night Funkin', constantly existing between a state of fuck you hard and normal gameplay. But I'll be the first to tell you, I am not great at this one. DDR-type rhythm games were never really my thing, and my brain gets scrambled easily in this mess. All this gameplay you're seeing is actually from my girlfriend, who is much better at the game than I ever was. But I bring this up because she got into the game exactly how I stated earlier. I showed her the game once when we were hanging out, and she got it and wanted to try it out herself, and then became way better at it than I was. Finding this balance of simple enough for anyone to understand, yet engaging enough to make anyone want to try, is a delicate line, and I think Friday Night Funkin' handles it perfectly. And you know what the best part is? It's just beginning. Last month, Friday Night Funkin' announced that they were doing a Kickstarter to make this Newgrounds small experience into a full-ass game, and I could not be more excited. Between the stuff they have done with the current weeks, the crossovers, and the completely banging music, it did not take much mental debating to back this one as fast as I could. This game was viral for a period of time and probably still is, so it comes as a surprise to no one that this Kickstarter exploded and has smashed all of its non-joke stretch goals. It's still got some time left on Kickstarter, so if I've interested you in this game at all, go give it a shot and maybe go pitch in over there. God knows I'll be excitedly waiting alongside you. Kickstarter games are, of course, always a gamble. But much like with Framemakers, I think the devs here have more than proven themselves to us. And as much as I would have liked having consistent week updates instead of having to wait, it'll only make the eventual time the game comes out that much sweeter. And if you want to see me be much sweeter, why don't you subscribe to RVRocks, ring the bell, like this video, and comment your thoughts on Friday Night Funkin'. The link to their Kickstarter, as well as the game on Newgrounds, are right down there in the description. So if you haven't played it yet, or just jonesing for another round, go play it, you won't regret it. And as always, you can also let me know your thoughts over on my Twitter, at RVRocks. But before you do any of that, I have been RVRocks, and thank you so much for watching. See ya!